Let me speak openly about something that rarely gets discussed with honesty. Touch, when it's done with awareness, can communicate far more than words ever could. For many women, a simple embrace, when it carries the right intention, can feel more grounding, more emotionally stirring than even a kiss. Not because of romance or drama, but because the body responds before the mind has time to analyze what's happening. Over the years, many women have described moments where a single hug lingered in their memory long after it ended. Not because it crossed boundaries or felt aggressive, but because it felt different. Calm, present, safe, and at the same time, quietly powerful. These moments often caused them to reflect on how they felt in other relationships, sometimes realizing that what they were missing wasn't excitement or intensity, but presence. Most hugs, especially from men, are automatic. They're polite, quick, and socially rehearsed. A brief squeeze, a tap on the back, and it's over. These gestures are friendly, harmless, and easy to forget. And that's exactly the message they send to the nervous system. This is familiar, predictable, and emotionally neutral. There's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't create depth. The human body doesn't respond most strongly to force or speed. It responds to clarity and calm. When touch is rushed or uncertain, the body reads it as anxiety. When touch is steady and unhurried, the body reads it as safety. From a biological perspective, safety is not the opposite of attraction. It's the foundation of it. This is where science quietly enters the picture. Our nervous system is constantly scanning for signals. Is this person grounded? Are they present? Can I relax here? When the answer is yes, the body shifts out of alert mode and into a state where connection, warmth, and intimacy are even possible. This isn't about trying to impress someone or provoke a reaction. It's about allowing the body to feel settled. Touch that leaves an impression works because it bypasses overthinking. It doesn't try to convince, it simply communicates. The body stores that information as a physical memory, a felt experience that can resurface later as a sense of comfort, curiosity, or emotional pull. This is sometimes called a somatic memory, meaning the body remembers even when the mind can't fully explain why. For men, this can be a powerful realization. Attraction isn't built through constant motion or exaggerated confidence. It's often built through restraint, through slowing down, through being fully there in a moment without trying to fill the silence or rush to the next step. Stillness, when it's confident rather than awkward, sends a strong message. I'm comfortable in myself, and I'm not afraid of closeness. In the next part, we'll explore how pace and silence affect the nervous system, and why doing less can often create a deeper connection than doing more. When you're ready, let me know, and we'll continue. One of the most common misunderstandings about connection is the belief that intensity creates attraction. Louder emotions, faster movements, bigger gestures. But the nervous system doesn't experience intensity as intimacy. It often experiences it as pressure. True connection begins when the body feels unthreatened and unhurried, when there is room to settle rather than react. This is where pace becomes essential. The speed at which you move communicates far more than the movement itself. When a hug begins at the same quick rhythm as casual conversation, the body categorizes it as routine. Nothing stands out. But when the motion slows just slightly, when the initiation is calm and deliberate, it disrupts expectation in a gentle way. The brain pauses, attention deepens, awareness shifts inward. From a physiological perspective, slowing down signals control and self-regulation. It tells the other person without words that you are not acting on impulse or nervous energy. You are choosing the moment. This subtle shift can be felt almost immediately because the nervous system mirrors what it perceives. Calm invites calm. Silence plays an equally important role. Many people feel uncomfortable with quiet during physical closeness, so they instinctively fill the space with words, laughter, or small gestures like tapping or patting. While well-intentioned, these behaviors keep the interaction in the social thinking part of the brain. The moment remains light, but it never deepens. When there is no commentary, no extra movement, the body is given permission to feel. Breathing becomes more noticeable. Muscle tone softens. The parasympathetic nervous system responsible for rest, bonding, and emotional openness begins to activate. This is the only state in which the body can experience both safety and attraction at the same time. Stillness does not mean stiffness. It means grounded presence, simply holding the moment without trying to manage it. This kind of stillness is rare, and that's why it stands out. It communicates confidence without effort and care without performance. The body is remarkably sensitive to these cues. Even a few seconds of calm, intentional contact can leave a lasting impression, not because it overwhelms, but because it allows the person to fully register how they feel in that moment. Often what they remember later isn't the hug itself, but the way their body felt afterward, settled, warm, and slightly changed. Now let's talk about contact itself, because where and how touch is applied matters just as much as pace and stillness. The human body is not neutral territory. Different areas send very different signals to the nervous system. Most people don't think about this consciously, but the body feels the difference immediately. When touch stays high on the shoulders or upper back, the message is familiar and social. It's the same region used in greetings, encouragement, or reassurance between friends. The nervous system recognizes this pattern and stays in a friendly, alert mode. There's comfort there, but no depth. Lower contact, when it's appropriate and respectful, communicates something else entirely. The lower back, especially the natural curve just above the hips, is closely linked to feelings of support and stability. From a biological standpoint, this area is associated with posture, balance, and protection. When a steady, warm hand rests there briefly, the body often interprets it as grounding rather than invasive. What matters most is intention. Touch that is calm and deliberate is very different from touch that is searching or uncertain. A grounded hand placed with clarity communicates presence. It says, without words, I am here. I am steady and I am attentive. The nervous system responds to that message by softening, not bracing. This is why the memory of such moments can linger. The body remembers how it felt to relax. It remembers the contrast between tension and ease. Long after the interaction ends, that physical memory can resurface as a sense of trust, warmth, or quiet curiosity. Not because something dramatic happened, but because something real did. It's important to be clear about boundaries here. This is not about manipulation or control. It's about awareness. True connection always respects comfort and consent. When someone feels safe, they naturally open. When they feel rushed or managed, they close. The goal is never to take something from another person, but to create a moment where both people feel more present than before. At its core, this approach isn't a technique. It's a reflection of inner state. You cannot fake calm for the nervous system. The body detects authenticity instantly. When you slow down, stay quiet, and remain grounded. You're not performing. You're allowing who you are to be felt. In a world that moves fast and talks constantly, moments of quiet presence are rare. That's why they're powerful. They remind the body that it's allowed to rest, to feel, and to connect without pressure. And that experience, more than any words or gestures, is what people carry with them. If there's one takeaway to hold on to, let it be this. How you make someone feel in their body matters more than anything you say. When touch is intentional, respectful, and calm, it becomes a form of communication that reassures, grounds, and gently deepens connection.